Hey guys, this is Peter. Welcome back to Tech Savara. Today we're going to jump in and explore HomeKit. Yep, let's do it. HomeKit, IoT, you know, this kind of thing that's been around for the last 6 or 7 years and it's been slowly evolving. I remember when I first heard about, the Internet of Things, it was a long, long time ago, actually. It was more than 4 or 5 years ago. It's probably around 2014, 15. I had started working on a Bluetooth enabled smart lock, and it was my first foray in, second foray into Bluetooth, but it was my first kind of step into the smart home, smart IoT. And for Apple, there is a new system, or their own system. It's pretty new, relatively speaking, to IoT in general. That they have the standard for HomeKit, and HomeKit is like an API that helps manage the devices that you have in your network for your home. Essentially, you can have like smart devices like light bulbs, smart locks, air conditioning systems, security systems, fridge, TV, anything else you want to connect to your home using HomeKit. Now, I have a HomePod. We only really use it for music, but I'd be interested in exploring a couple of things. Now, in particular, I really wanted to have a look at security systems, and the reason is that I tried to look up the security system details for a Ring, and Ring has like cameras, they have activation, and they have an alarm system. But in Australia, where I'm based, they don't have the alarm system. You can't get it anywhere for some legal reason. Uh, but I thought, I started looking at possibly doing a video today about there's also, image recognition, things like that. Maybe not necessarily on iOS or Mac. And then I kind of thought, well, you could do camera recording. Maybe have a look at that. How would I integrate something like that into a home network security system? And I thought, well, I can possibly create like a hub using HomeKit and then look at connecting units to it, like cameras, like lights, and make my own security system and learn along the way. So I guess the first step is just to explore HomeKit. It's used for being able to develop apps that connect HomeKit devices. You can then develop your own particular devices that connect via HomeKit also. There is the Matter standard. So Matter is a networking standard that Apple has taken on that allows you to connect Matter standard devices to your HomeKit system. So the idea would be to create some kind of third-party device that supports the Matter protocol. Maybe do some image recognition, some AI stuff, and then connect that to my home network that's running through my Mac here, or maybe a Mac Mini. It'll be interesting to see or how that works. Maybe a powered iPad. So there's a lot of things to explore here. I'd be really interested in maybe doing like a home security system that you can, plug in and get set up with. So the first step is to explore HomeKit, see how we can possibly find a device that's already connected and explore that. So I'm going to see if I can do it on Mac. So we're going to create a cross-platform application on the Apple Silicon architecture, the ARM architecture, and have it running on the Mac, kind of like a step to see how it works, and see if we can discover a device. So guys, let's get started and let's explore HomeKit. All right, so let's jump in. We, as usual, will start with the Apple developer documentation, and what we want to do is figure out, how we use this API. We'll just start with, I guess the top is HomeKit enable. We know what it does, right? It helps us with the ability to connect to devices on the HomeKit network. Display, edit, and act upon data in your home configuration database. Discover HomeKit compatible automation accessories and add them to a persistent cross-device. Yep. Communicate with configured accessories and services in order to perform actions like turning on the lights in the living room. So let's see. We want to enable HomeKit in our app. So we basically will enable an entitlement, which will give us permissions that allow us to use HomeKit and discover devices. That's pretty straightforward. Explain why your app needs to use the home users network. Okay, Home Manager. So there's a lot here. We have the HomeKit entitlement. Oh, that's gone back to the bundle resources of our app. We have the NS HomeKit usage description. All right. And then we can configure a home automation device. And all right. Add and set up accessories. So we already have a device connected. Maybe we could do something like just trying to find devices that we have. Kill go services. Show only accessories relevant to your app. Okay, so this is configuring a home automation device, but what about discovering interacting with a home automation network? This sample app introduces you to the accessories, services, and characteristics found in a home automation network. So it's very similar straight out of the bat to Bluetooth. We have services and characteristics, which is pretty much how Bluetooth works. I've never actually used the home automation network, so this is the first time I'm doing this. This view hierarchy is useful for learning how HomeKit structures device data, which is slightly different than the way that the Home app refers to related concepts. All right, interesting. In a real app that you publish to the App Store, you would provide a user experience more like the one found in configuring a home automation device. For example, you would focus on actions a user can take and hide the underlying technical details. Well, look, we're just exploring HomeKit, so this is kind of like a good first step. What is this? Find all the automation accessories in the primary home and control their state. This is actually a good starting point. To be able to use HomeKit, you enable the HomeKit capability. So we've downloaded this application code, and we are going to have a look at, here we go, accessory finder.xcode project. Accessory finder is, yes, trust and open. So accessory finder, it looks, yes, I mean, it's designed for iPads. We can run this on Apple Silicon, which is great because that's essentially what we're going to do. I don't want to have to bother trying to run it on my phone. I just want to run it here. It's designed for iPad, which means that it uses may not work because in other cases I've just made it. So if we create a new project here, let's have a look. So we want to create a new project, macOS multi-platform app. Let's have a look. We have test HomeKit, right? We want to scratch test HomeKit. And let's have a look at, see, so this is running on Mac OS, but here it says it's designed for iPad. So it's running on iOS SDK, and this is running on Mac OS SDK. This may not actually have the same functionality that we want. Let's see if it works. Let's see. I mean, there's no harm in trying. Essentially, let's just try and run this example project for Accessory Finder, and we'll want to explore the code and kind of as I mentioned in other videos, it's a good idea to have a sample app and to cherry pick the things that you would want to use in your app. It's really helpful to figure out how to use certain functionality by getting something to start and work on that first. So in this case, we tried to build it. It didn't work. It's probably because we don't have development team selected. So we'll just try my personal team. Okay, so let's try that again. S- So, okay, we've allowed it to access home. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Well, that crashed. Didn't like this in this window. I think it's because these problems arise because we're trying to run it as an iPad app. What is it? It's prefs. Questions not permitted on proceeding. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that is. The crash didn't like add and set up accessories with completion handler. Unrecognized selected. Well, that's pretty bad. That's it's almost like a I wonder if we have this as UI application delegate. Let's have a look and just see. We have homes, home view, HomeKit, accessory finder. I mean, let's try that again. Rooms, categories. Yeah. Yeah, same issue. Nothing like that. But maybe we can have a look at what we're doing here. Home view. Oh, okay. So essentially, this is a table. This is using the old UI kit. So I'd rather just give it a go using a home store, home manager. So we have the model here, and we have the services, the HM service. I mean, we could just pull this model and then home delegate HM home view. Okay, so that's the table view control. So we also have HM accessory delegate. So we would in Swift UI we would have a UI view, and I guess the first thing would be to see if handle any changes to the home. HM home did set. Uh, we have a table view here. We want to reload the data, so we have the rooms and the categories. So in this case, where would we start? I think we have our home manager class. We would kind of want we'd have like a view, a navigation stack view in our HomeKit test app. In this case, we have services, actions performed by a given client. So let's jump back. So group accessories by room. We have HM service, accessory setup. This is for the setup. HM accessory, tracking changes to an accessory. And we have HM room. So it represents a physical device. So we want to find. Yeah, okay, so HM Home is a top instance of a top-level container, HomeKit representing a structure that the user considers as a single home. Users might have multiple homes that are far apart, la 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 la. So we want to get a home instance, delegate that receives updates from the state of the home. Now, how would we discover homes? Because HomeKit gives your app access to a shared database of home information. Your other apps can change home. We can add a home with name. Let's see. You can create a new home only in response to specific user requests. How do we discover homes? Home Manager. There we go. Home Manager is a collection of one or more user homes. HomeKit stores the user data. Oh, okay. I guess this would be where we would search and discover for uh, Home Manager Delegate. Let's see what gives us. Manager to update homes. Did add, did remove. did update primary home. Adopt this protocol to find out about changes made outside of your app to set the home's home database. So I guess you can also rely on this protocol when you first create Home Manager instance. Home Manager calls the homes. Okay, so there we go. That's how we do it. The Home Manager would give us a list of homes. Let's give it a go quickly to add a simple view model. Let's see. So we go. Well, let's create a var model home kit. Right. And this would be a subject object. A new file. Oh, and we would want to import HomeKit, and we'd have class HomeKit model is an observable object, and then we would maybe just have a struct home is home data just as a name. Just to test it, right? Object, let's see. Now we have published our homes. It should just be same home, right? And we'll probably need to make this an NS object because it's likely that we will use HomeKit to try and figure out what we would need to use the NS object because it's an Objective-C compatible library. So in this case, we have signing in capabilities. We want to add incoming connection server client app sandbox. No, this is new. I haven't seen all this stuff before. Wow. Resource access. Maybe it's because I made it a Mac OS app. What we want to do is capability. We're going to add HomeKit. All right. Ah, that's interesting. I won. That's very interesting. Is HomeKit even available? Let's see. HomeKit. Let's see. What? Swift API changes none. This doesn't actually tell us. Let's have a look. HomeKit. It's only available in Mac Catalyst. Well. After all that, we would need to run it on an actual iPad simulator. So we can't actually do it on Mac OS. That's unbelievable. HomeKit enables your app to coordinate, control home automation accessories from multiple vendors. Very interesting. So that's something new. I didn't know. So if we wanted to run this, so if we were to go accessory find, let's try to run this on a simulator. Let's try to run on an iPad simulator. Maybe that's why this test app didn't work. Let's see if we can get it to run and see and find something. Here we go. About iPad app simulator. And again, this should start. I mean, one thing to note is you can't simulate Bluetooth on the simulator. So that's one thing to consider. There we go. And so it may not be possible to simulate this also. Add a home, find any homes in the database, create a home network, test home. Okay. Yeah, all right. Operation has been cancelled. Operation has been cancelled. So it seems like yeah, home agent air domain. We can't actually do any of this. We can't do any of this. We can't do this. And if we try to do it on the Mac OS application, it crashes. So the only way we could do it, I mean, it wouldn't make a difference because you can't actually create networks, home networks. So we would only be able to test it on the actual physical device. Well, guys, you can't win them all, I guess. In this case, the only way forward now would be to deploy it on an iPad and test it, and create some kind of mock system to mock up HomeKit networks and see what that comes up with. In the case of Mac OS, it just doesn't have it, and that's probably why it crashed, because it didn't support the actual delegate at all. If we would use Catalyst, we could probably get it to work, but Catalyst is a whole different ball kettle of fish. Um, I will probably jump into this a bit later, trying to figure out, you know, what we can do. I think, well, let's do another part two. Let's go through HomeKit. I will set up this test app, and we will continue to try and we'll discover the home, and we'll see what accessories are available, and we'll have our iPad recorded on through here, and so we can kind of like see what's happening on the iPad while we're testing. Uh, and I guess this is our first foray. Usually, this can happen when you're first stepping into something. You find something out as you go along, and it's part of the process of learning. All right, guys, thanks for listening in. I will see you next week as we continue exploring HomeKit on iPad.